Picture a billion-dollar empire built on platinum beats, Cîroc toasts, and the promise that the party never ends. Now, imagine that same empire, phones confiscated, lawyers whispering, frozen inside a Manhattan courtroom while its king contemplates a racketeering sentence that could outlast his catalog. That's the reality facing Sean Diddy Combs as prosecutors unveil hotel receipts, money wires, and grainy freak-off tapes the public may never see. For 7 relentless weeks, the government paraded 34 witnesses, ex-girlfriends speaking under aliases, personal assistants clutching NDAs, Homeland Security agents scrolling through text threads that read like an X-rated screenplay. Their claim? Diddy didn't just throw lavish parties, he orchestrated a covert enterprise that booked sex workers with the precision of a tour manager, lubricated by cash, baby oil deliveries, and whispered threats. The defense has answered with a single audacious move: call no witnesses. They insist every rendezvous was consensual, every receipt nothing more than a billionaire's eccentric indulgence. Now, with the prosecution officially resting its case, closing arguments could hit any day, an outcome that might redraw the lines of celebrity power in hip-hop forever. But before the gavel drops and a verdict stamps itself onto pop culture lore, let's rewind. How did the backup dancer who once hyped Biggie Smalls morph into the mogul federal agents accused of engineering hotel nights like blockbuster premieres? Where exactly did the champagne celebrations bleed into allegations of coercion masked by NDAs and private jets? We're about to retrace the meteoric rise, the first cracks, and the whispers that finally thundered into a RICO indictment. Because the story of Sean Diddy Combs isn't merely another tabloid spiral, it's a cautionary saga of power, pleasure, and the staggering price when the lights finally slam on. Sean Combs didn't start with Cîroc billboards or private jet runways. He started sprinting coffee across Uptown Records as an unpaid intern, still hustling back to night classes at Howard University. Within 4 years, that hallway runner became Uptown's youngest A&R exec, shaping hits until a fateful 1993 showdown got him fired. Hours later, he told friends the loss felt like wings snapping off, so he built new ones. That same spring, 23-year-old Combs launched Bad Boy Records from a one-bedroom office, coaxing Craig Mack and a Brooklyn kid called Biggie Smalls into the booth. Flava in Ya Ear cracked radio first, but it was Biggie's Ready to Die that detonated, planting Bad Boy atop the charts and branding its CEO an overnight kingmaker.
The next 5 years played out like a Wall Street montage scored by boom-bap drums. Puffy, now rechristened P. Diddy, dropped No Way Out in 1997, snagged a Grammy, and parlayed platinum plaques into the Sean John fashion line, turning velour sweats into red carpet currency. Forbes kept recalculating. First $200 million, then $300 million, nudging him toward hip-hop's wealth summit. Yet Combs didn't want to be merely rich. He wanted to redefine rich. In 2007, he inked a 50-50 deal with Diageo for a little-known French grape vodka named Cîroc. His bet was audacious. No salary, just a profit split if sales exploded. They did, from 40,000 cases a year to nearly 2 million within 6 harvests, ballooning his equity and proving a rapper could outmaneuver Madison Avenue. By the early 2010s, the resume read like a Flex anthem chorus. Bad Boy Hit Factory, Sean John on Fifth Avenue, Cîroc in every VIP booth, Revolt TV on cable, and Forbes whispering first billionaire in rap. Fans saw champagne showers. Rivals saw an empire too vast to challenge. But power attracts static. Whispers swirled about all-night benders, security teams paid to erase footprints, and a charisma that blurred the lines between boss and demigod. Those rumors stayed background noise, until a single gunshot inside a crowded nightclub would shatter the illusion of invincibility and usher in the first public crack in Diddy's golden armor. And that's where the story jolts from celebration to confrontation. First shockwaves, the 1999 club shooting. December 27th, 1999. Club New York, a champagne-soaked crowd, Jennifer Lopez on Diddy's arm, and, according to police, 3 shots that sliced through the baseline. Witnesses dove. Glass shattered. The power couple sprinted out a back door and straight into a high-speed chase before officers pulled them over and found a stolen handgun in the Lincoln Navigator. Prosecutors hit Sean Puffy Combs with weapons and bribery counts that could have buried his empire for 15 years, while his 21-year-old protege, Jamal Shine Barrow, faced assault charges. Paparazzi crowded every courthouse step. Tabloids crowned it hip-hop's trial of the century. On 16th March 2001, the jury cleared Combs and his bodyguard, but convicted Shine. Diddy walked free amid a flash storm of cameras and promptly announced he'd rebrand himself P. Diddy, a name change many said proved he was still the ultimate spin doctor. Commentators began calling him hip-hop's Teflon Don, amazed at how bullets, headlines, and handcuffs all seemed to slide right off. Yet the acquittal left a permanent scuff on his sheen. Critics argued money and charisma had bent justice, and civil lawyers quietly filed notice of upcoming suits. For the first time, fans sensed that the fairy tale grind to glory might hide darker chapters, an intuition that would only grow louder in the years ahead. Because if a courtroom couldn't pin him down, what would it take? Empire of excess and the rumor mill. Acquittal. Fans now saw two parallel realities: the glossy mogul shaking hands with CEOs, and the shadow king said to orchestrate decadence behind velvet ropes. And when a longtime girlfriend finally stepped out of those shadows with a lawsuit, the whispers would ignite into a legal firestorm that even Cîroc money couldn't douse. The Cassie allegations and the silent settlement. It took just one court filing to turn decade-old whispers into headline thunder. On 16 November 2023, singer-model Cassie Ventura, Diddy's on-again, off-again partner for 11 years, invoked New York's Adult Survivors Act and sued him for rape, violent coercion, and a catalog of drug-laced freak-off rituals she said left her trying to feel normal again. The complaint described a cycle of alleged beatings, forced encounters with male escorts, and threats that kept her tethered to the mogul's orbit. Rumors suggest the filing blindsided Diddy's inner circle. Within hours, crisis PR teams jammed every phone line at Bad Boy headquarters. Then, just 24 hours later, the legal war vanished. Both sides issued identical, resolved amicably statements, sealing terms behind non-disclosure walls. At the time, bloggers screamed hush money. Official documents stayed mute. But during her federal court testimony in May 2025, Cassie quietly confirmed the figure, roughly $20 million, a number that jolted jurors and set social feeds ablaze. The lightning-fast payout didn't end the chatter, it supercharged it. Reports claim at least 3 other women contacted prosecutors within weeks, citing eerily similar hotel night scenarios. Whether the settlement was damage control or tacit admission remains unproven, but it cracked the dam wide enough for federal agents already circling the empire. And when those agents finally knocked, they kicked the doors clean off. Raids, indictment, and the freak-off files. March 26, 2024, 6 a.m. Homeland Security vans rolled into Diddy's Holmby Hills and Star Island compounds, hauling out hard drives, designer suitcases, and pallets of baby oil bottles that agents said numbered in the hundreds. Inside, investigators claim they found ledgers matching escort payments to flight manifests, plus encrypted messages arranging Wild King nights within hours of big-ticket award shows. Defense lawyers scoffed, calling the raids a witch hunt, but prosecutors quietly stitched the inventory into a broader narrative, a globe-trotting pipeline that kept women compliant with cash, drugs, and NDAs. 6 months later, a Manhattan grand jury handed down a 5-count indictment, racketeering conspiracy, 2 counts of sex trafficking by force, and 2 counts of transporting individuals for prostitution. A superseding filing in April 2025 added fresh allegations spanning 2021-2024, accusing Combs